Welcome back, guys, to another video. And yeah, I built Orion. Yeah, so going into this build, I completely underestimated how much of a challenge it was going to be, specifically the support structure, but I'll get into that a little bit more in detail later on. But for about a month of work on this build, yeah, that's right, a month of work, I think it turned out really, really well. The very first idea that I had for this model was basically to just build a 2x2 column at a 45-degree angle up till what I thought would be the correct height. But then when I actually tried to make curves over the crest of the lift hill, my first and original design did not have the necessary means to pull that technique off. So I completely scratched the first idea, and then I had to create the lift hill in smaller segments. So instead of just going completely haywire, creating it as tall as I thought it should, I created it in smaller segments so I could get the correct height without having to modify the actual structure and integrity of the model. And I think it turned out really well. One of the main things that I wanted to do was get as much detail as I could on the initial lift structure. So that meant adding the chicken wire fence to the left or right side, depending on which way you look at it. If you're going up the lift hill, it's going to be on your right side, and then adding the catwalk, which would be on your left side, going up the lift hill as if you were actually riding the ride. Both of those aspects of the coaster were really interesting to make, as I really want to build this in real life, and I'll probably release a video if I ever do, showing how it really truly works in real life. But in order to make sure it's able to be built in real life, I had to make sure that nothing was floating or not connected at all to the lift structure. Of course, that meant creating a specific way to snap the catch fence, and then that catwalk through bracket pieces. You can see the 1x1 bracket underneath the pair of 2x2 or 2x1 brackets that connect to the 1x4 gear rack piece that is supposed to symbolize or represent the catwalk. Now, one thing about giga coasters, or more specifically B&M gigas, is that I wanted to make this be almost interchangeable between the different coasters. So I wanted to create a piece, or a specific set of pieces, that would be able to be interchanged to match the color of specifically Fury 325, since Leviathan and Orion, like in this model, have one solid color, whereas on Fury it has that awesome looking teal and then the vibrant lime green at the bottom. So there's a 2x2 tile on every single segment of the lift hill and on the crest and the drop that can be replaced with the necessary color if you wanted to build either Orion, Leviathan, or Fury, which is good news for you guys, because I'm going to be releasing directions for this. Yeah, these are going to be up for sale on my Rebrickable page, unlike my other coasters, which you can download for free. I feel like this model really deserves to be a premium model, as I put a lot of effort into this one, making sure it's structurally sound and that it can be displayed wherever. So I really hope you enjoyed that too. So make sure to check out the Rebrickable page whenever you can. And like I said before, the most challenging part of this entire model was getting the supports looking how I wanted to. And of course, that meant not building them with bricks, rather changing the theme and sticking with Technic pins and Technic connectors to get the tubular look of the B&M Giga style structure. And of course, that didn't come without a few surprises, as LEGO made an older version of the tube connector. I don't know the specific name of it, but they made an older version that was slightly wider and didn't have the gap in the middle like the newer versions now. And what's surprising about it is that each one of those pieces that are the piece count in this is over 150 for them. Each one of those pieces was over $10 each, so yeah, I'm not spending over $1,500 just on those pieces alone. So I had to quickly change those out, and yeah, that brought down the price by about $1,400. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So after that missed bullet, I was able to get the piece count, and the price for piece ratio is actually really good on this model. So when buying this, you can have the reassurance of knowing that if you're willing to spend around $200, you'll be able to create this model 100% exactly like this. Now, one thing I will have to warn you about is that I'm going to be releasing a slightly modified version of this to match colors. There's only 1 or 2 pieces on this that don't come in blue, which I think LEGO's probably going to make in that color very shortly. It's the 1x1 tile that can be, or not tile, plate that can be clipped to, which is at the very bottom of the drop. That comes in a navy blue or dark blue at the moment, so hopefully LEGO comes out with that piece. And I'm pretty sure only some of the grass, the dark green grass pieces are what don't come in that color, so I'll have to swap those out. So the price for piece ratio might go up just a tiny bit, but I want to give you guys the best opportunity to build this coaster exactly like the one you see here. So I'll be releasing that model. It won't look exactly like this, but you will not be able to tell. Yeah, so this build actually got me thinking about a lot of the other B&M style roller coasters out there, since their drops are very similar. And I think I've decided on one for a much future project, and I think that might be Diamondback, because I feel like the model would go very well with the entrance I've created, almost created them, putting them in a bundle, so to speak. So I might do Diamondback, but leave your suggestions down below if you want to see a different B&M coaster like that. Now, I will have to say it does have to be a hyper model. Has to be a hyper coaster or a giga coaster. And before you say Leviathan or Fury, I'm already on that, and I'm releasing special instructions for those two, probably much later than Orion's instructions come out, because I have to change the colors for both those coasters. And I think Fury's is going to be a little bit more work, because if I remember correctly, one of those supports are not a complete triangle. They're not symmetrical. It goes out on one side and then it goes straight down. So yeah, I hope you had a great time watching me go over every aspect of this build. I hope to create more detailed videos later on. So why not start with this one? Yeah, so I think next up we have a project from me and Intern 305. May or may not be inverting its way into the channel in the next few weeks, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that basically wraps it up. Have a good life.